My Democratic colleague, Representative Castor, talked passionately about induction cooktop stoves, said my legislation was a waste of time. I obviously disagree. But the thing I want to really concentrate on what she said is something to the effect of constituents are smart. They can make their own decisions about what stoves to buy. Well, that's exactly the point of my legislation. The Department of Energy's new proposed energy efficiency standards will not allow people to select whatever stove they want to have, because even in the DOE's own report, it said that it would, 96% of existing cooktops, gas cooktops, would not meet the new standards. And all of the freestanding stoves that 90% of the people have in their homes, which is the cooktop on the top and the oven, freestanding, none of those would qualify for the new standards. So the stoves would have to be changed. That's all that would be available on the market. So people won't have a choice. That's my point. That's the point of the legislation. The other thing that I'd like to point out is several of my Democratic colleagues even said in their argument against my bill, well, the DOE says that it would only affect 50% of the existing gas stoves. Well, that means 50% of the gas stoves won't be available. The ones that are available today will not be available in the future to purchase. And the last thing I'd like to say is there's, some of my Democratic colleagues are like, it will not ban existing gas stoves. They're not going to take them out of the home. I agree. That's not what it does. That's not what my bill does. What it says is that the DOE cannot impose these standards so that new stoves that are on the market will not be available to constituents. And with that, I yield back.
Yield back, Mr. Chair.
Gentleman yields back his time.
Happy Sunday, friends. I have a new fourth stimulus check update to share with you this Sunday. Lawmakers have shown support for legislation that will provide the American people with monthly stimulus payments. These checks could be worth anywhere from $600 to $1,200. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has also just announced new details on the debt ceiling deal. My dearest friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video. Also, tomorrow on Memorial Day, I'll be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway of $75. If you would like to enter these giveaways, all you have to do, friends, is click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you watch and then comment on, the greater your chances, my friends, of winning the giveaways. A proposed national income program, which is supported by Representative Ilhan Omar, would pay recipients $1,200 every month over the course of 5 years. The Minnesota Congresswoman described two proposals that would financially benefit families. One being the Support Act. The proposal would send both $1,200 every month to every adult and $600 every month for every child through local governments. This proposal would send $1,200 every month for every adult and $600 every month for every child through local government over the next 5 years, which Representative Omar argues would provide an income floor for everyone. Representative Omar recently told reporters, "This bill builds on successful guaranteed income pilot programs we have seen on localities nationwide, including in Minneapolis and St. Paul." The other proposal that Representative Omar is supporting is the End Child Poverty Act, which would replace the child tax credit and the child provisions in the Earned Income Tax Credit, instead with a universal child benefit. This benefit would provide families with a monthly payment of $393 for every child that they have. The payments would be distributed by the Social Security Administration, and children will be automatically enrolled in the program at the time of birth. The program would not have any income phase-ins or phase-outs. The Minnesota lawmaker told reporters the End Child Poverty Act would cut childhood poverty by nearly 2/3. It is exactly the type of bold action our party should be championing to finally address child poverty in this country and make sure families are not going hungry in one of the wealthiest countries in the world. The End Child Poverty Act was reintroduced in April by Omar, along with Representatives Rashida Tlaib and Jesus Garcia. But until recently, inflation was a far-off memory for most Americans. But higher costs are continuing to affect millions of consumers. After spending more than 2 decades below 3%, the Consumer Price Index nearly tripled from 2020 to 2021, rising from 1.4% to 7.0%. The United States has not seen price gains like this since the era of hyperinflation in the 1970s and early 1980s. Monthly inflation data peaked at an annualized rate of 9.1% in June 2022, and it's cooled off somewhat since then. During the crisis, American consumers were kept at home by shelter-in-place orders, and thus less inclined to spend money on discretionary activities, but spent more money on buying goods. The entire world experienced severe supply shocks during the crisis, making it very hard for supply to keep up with demand. Luckily, spending for much of the crisis was reduced as people were forced to stay home, giving Americans an unexpected opportunity to save. Today, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy described the student loan payment pause, gone, as part of the debt ceiling deal with President Biden. House Speaker McCarthy told Fox News, "The pause is gone within 60 days of this being signed. So that is another victory because that brings in $5 billion each month to the American public." Kevin McCarthy's remarks came after he and Biden came to an agreement in principle late Saturday to cap spending and raise a debt ceiling. The Biden administration has already indicated that student loan borrowers should expect the student loan payment pause would be coming to an end. But the timing of that depends on how the Supreme Court might rule next month on a case challenging a student loan forgiveness program. Should a pause on payments come to an end under the debt deal, it would mean student loan payments could restart about 1 month earlier than expected this year. President Biden said that payments would resume either 60 days after the Supreme Court rules on his student loan forgiveness plan, or 60 days after June 30th, when the court's term ends, whichever came first. A source familiar with the negotiations told reporters that the administration was able to protect its ability to pause student loan payments in the future in the case of an emergency, but it also codifies the administration's plans to end the pause on loans at the end of this summer. Well, my beautiful and most amazing friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for this Sunday. My dearest friends, thank you so much for being here and for being part of this community. I will be announcing several winners tomorrow on Memorial Day for the Walmart gift card giveaway of $75. If you would like to enter the weekly giveaways, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, my friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. Thank you so much and have a wonderful and very blessed Memorial Day weekend.